You're here with us on the deep dive because I'm guessing you're looking to make some smart moves in real estate investing.
That's right.
Yeah?
And today,
Yeah, today we're going deep on a financing tool that looks like it could really simplify things for investors like you.
yeah,
Blanket loans.
blanket loans. Yeah, we're going to break it all down.
It's all about
Let's do what it is.
really understanding how it works, what the benefits are, and whether this is something that you should be considering for your own investment journey.
Exactly. Yeah, so we've got a source here that really lays it all out. And our mission today is to kind of unpack that and see if it's something that's going to be relevant to you.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks, when they start getting into real estate investing, the financing side can get really complicated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're going to try to cut through the noise, give you the essential information about blanket loans, and see where they fit in your strategy.
Okay, perfect. So let's just start with the basics.
Yeah.
What is a blanket loan? So a blanket loan, in simple terms, it's basically a way to finance multiple investment properties under one single loan agreement.
Oh, okay.
So instead of having separate mortgages for each of your properties, you have one loan that covers them all.
Interesting. So that sounds like it could save a lot of time and hassle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our source is suggesting that consolidating your financing like this can lead to some serious time and cost savings.
Right, because you're not dealing with, 5 different lenders or
Right.
10 different sets of paperwork.
Yeah, you're streamlining everything.
Yeah.
One payment, one set of terms. It definitely simplifies things.
I see. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for your real estate financing.
Yeah, you can think of it that way.
Okay, so who is this kind of loan good for? I mean, is it only for, seasoned investors with huge portfolios, or can someone just starting out with a couple of properties use it?
That's a great question. And the source actually indicates a pretty broad range.
Okay.
In terms of loan amounts, they mention anything from $75,000 all the way up to $5 million.
Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty big spread.
Yeah, so it really seems like it could be adaptable, whether you're just starting out buying your first couple of rental homes
Right.
or if you're already working with a more substantial portfolio.
Interesting. And they mention LTV loan to value?
Yeah, they talk about a 75% LTV option, meaning you could potentially borrow up to 75% of a property's value.
I see. So that's a pretty significant lever, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that can be a big deal. It allows you to really maximize your investment capital.
Right. So if you had a property worth $100,000, you could potentially finance $75,000 of that
Exactly.
with this loan, and that would really accelerate your growth.
Yeah, absolutely gives you more buying power.
Okay, so let's say I'm finding good deals in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Does a blanket loan kind of tie me down to investing in one specific area?
Well, that's where things get interesting. The source actually emphasizes nationwide coverage with blanket loans.
Really? So I could potentially have properties in multiple states all under one loan.
That's what they're suggesting.
Yeah.
Within the same country, of course, but it offers quite a bit of flexibility in terms of geography.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And there's another advantage they highlight,
Okay, what's that?
the closing time.
Oh, yeah. How long does it typically take to close on a blanket loan?
They mention around 2 weeks, which is pretty fast compared to some other financing options.
Yeah, 2 weeks is super quick, especially when you're dealing with real estate.
Especially in a competitive market where speed is really crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't want to miss out on a good deal because your financing is taking forever.
Right. You got to be able to move quickly. And it sounds like this loan could help you do that.
Okay, so let's talk portfolio growth. Let's say I'm starting with a few properties and then down the line I want to add another one. How does a blanket loan handle that?
Well, the source specifically mentions the ability to finance up to 10 properties under a single blanket loan.
Okay, so there's like a built-in capacity for growth.
Yeah, it's designed with portfolio management in mind.
I see. And, adding properties to an existing loan, that's got to be easier than getting a whole new loan every time, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. It reduces that administrative burden. And what's even better is they mention the potential for reduced fees when you add properties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So as your portfolio expands, the cost of financing each new property could actually go down.
Potentially. Yeah, that's a big incentive to keep growing your portfolio under that same blanket loan.
Okay, so it sounds pretty good so far, but I'm sure there are some specific requirements for qualifying for a blanket loan.
Right. There are always some hoops to jump through, and the source highlights 2 key requirements.
Okay, what are those?
First, there's the same country requirement.
Same country. What does that mean?
It means all the properties you're financing under a single blanket loan have to be located within the same country.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I guess that simplifies things from the lender's perspective.
Right. They're not dealing with international laws and regulations and all that.
Right. Yeah.
And the second requirement is the single seller requirement.
Single seller. Okay.
And this one usually applies when you're initially purchasing multiple properties to put under the blanket loan.
Oh, I see.
So basically, you're buying those properties from the same seller.
Yeah. Okay. So that streamlines the whole process.
Right. It simplifies the appraisal and underwriting process when they're all coming from the same source.
Okay. That makes sense. So same country, same seller for those initial multi-property purchases.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but let's bring it back to you, the listener.
Yeah.
The person who's trying to get up to speed on real estate investing, but doesn't want to get bogged down in all the super technical details.
Right.
What's the main takeaway about blanket loans?
Well, if we connect it back to your goal of learning efficiently, a blanket loan, as this source describes it,
Right.
is really a way to simplify how you finance multiple real estate investments.
Yeah.
It's about reducing that administrative headache of juggling multiple loans, potentially saving you time and money.
Yeah.
It gives you flexibility in terms of the scale of your investments and where you're investing geographically within a country.
Right.
And it can potentially offer faster closing times so you can seize opportunities quickly.
Right.
So it's really all about streamlining your growth and preventing that feeling of being overwhelmed as your portfolio expands.
I like that. Yeah. Because real estate investing can definitely feel overwhelming sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many moving parts.
Right. And this seems like a tool that can really help you kind of get a handle on things.
Oh, yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. So one loan, multiple properties, potentially less hassle and faster growth.
Sounds pretty good, right?
Pretty intriguing stuff. And, it makes me think, if you are out there listening and you're starting to build your real estate portfolio, or maybe you're thinking about it,
Right.
what are some of the challenges you're facing or frustrations that you're dealing with when it comes to managing the financing?
Yeah, exactly. What are those roadblocks, and how could a tool like a blanket loan potentially help you navigate them?
Right. And beyond that, what other questions are popping up for you as you think about, managing multiple properties efficiently?
Yeah, that's something to really consider
That's something to think about.
as you move forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today. But this has been a really great deep dive into blanket loans.
It has.
We've learned a lot.
Very informative.
And hopefully you have too. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.